Hello, everyone. It's me, Amanda, with Once in a Wild, and welcome to Once in a Wild Wednesday, where we have our weekly live stream free of charge for you guys to enjoy each and every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm so very glad to see all of our friends, family, and followers watching today, and hopefully you will comment with your questions and your comments and your encouragement for us as always. I hope you have had a wonderful week. I hope you had a very, very happy Halloween, and let me know what your costume was. If you didn't catch our Halloween special, it was actually the day before Halloween, Halloween Eve, if you will. We had our very special friends from Once Upon a Party. We had Harry, Hermione, and Ron from Harry Potter, of course. And that was a lot of fun and really, really funny, if I do say so myself, especially Ron. He was really, really silly and funny. If you didn't catch that, you should go back to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Once in a Wild, and watch that video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Are you excited? Okay, have you guys had a good week? I hope you have. Hope you're staying safe out there and enjoying this beautiful fall weather that we're having. Here in South Texas, it's been really nice. It's been colder overnight, and then, of course, during the day, it's like in the 70s and things, which is wonderful and beautiful. So we're happy to have that weather where it's usually very hot here in South Texas, although I don't mind the heat myself, but I know a lot of us Texans really enjoy this fall weather. So let me know how you're doing. Let me know who's watching. If your kiddos are joining with you and watching with you, I would love to know if they're there, and so I can say hello. Hello, Viviana. Nice to see you watching. And she says hello, Amanda, or hi, Amanda, Ricky, and everyone watching. Hello, hello. Viviana says she's making spaghetti for dinner. What is everybody else having for dinner? That sounds delicious. We had wings for dinner, personally, over here at our place. It's been a long day for you. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're here with us now. Hi, Sandra. Nice to see you. Oh my goodness, this is cool. Sadako, aka Samara from The Ring. I bet you have long black hair. I bet that was really, really cool. That is one of my favorite kind of remakes, is that movie, The Ring. I know Ringu is really good too. That's a cool costume. I was a Ravenclaw. From Harry Potter. I was just a Ravenclaw, so I could work in my Ravenclaw uniform and actually work. We were at a festival, so I had to have some kind of workable costume. That sounds cool. Sandra says she was a Greek goddess. That sounds fun. Which goddess were you? Or just a general Greek goddess? I bet you were beautiful. And Viviana says, we got to do trick or treat door to door and got over 100 pieces of candy. Pretty successful. And she says her daughter was Agnes from Despicable Me and her son was Jack Skellington. All good choices, if you ask me. Just you and your cat. Hey, sometimes just spending the evening with your cat is definitely not bad. I agree. All right, I like that. I'm actually very much a cat person. Little beknownst to many, many people. I know I have a lot of exotic animals, of course, and Once in a Wild, but I'm actually a cat person. I really, really like cats, and I miss cats. My current situation doesn't allow me to have cats in my life. So some people might be allergic, if you know what I mean. So I cannot have a cat again, but I'm actually very much a cat person. I now have 3 dogs, and of course, all of our animals at Once in a Wild. And I love a lot of animals, of course, but I'm very much a cat person, so I do understand. I had a wonderful cat for many, many years, and other cats as well. Oh, natural hair for Samara. Pretty cool. Yes, wonderful. That's pretty cool. Long, I knew what you meant. Natural long hair. You must have looked really neat. I bet that was scary. So The Ring is one of those movies that I really, really love, but it also really scared me the first time I saw it, and really kind of stuck in my head for a long, long time. So it really scared me, but now I love that movie a lot, and I love, love, love scary movies. It's one of my favorite genres is horror movies and scary movies. Love it. She says she saw a rattlesnake on the highway coming home from Alpine. Oh, I'm so glad you didn't run over it. We definitely love rattlesnakes here at Once in a Wild. That's very, very close. That's one thing that affects a lot of animals is, of course, cars. A lot of animals become hit by cars, unfortunately, even snakes and tortoises and all kinds of reptiles, as well as mammals and birds too. It's really, really unfortunate that animals have to deal with those kind of changes in the natural environment, not so natural now because there's roads, but roads and cars end up being one of the most like kind of thing that affects animals and their environment more than almost anything else. But of course, that has to do with humans, and everything man-made affects animals, right? So it's very unfortunate that a lot of animals meet their demise that way. But I'm so glad you saw the animal before running it over. That is very, very observant of you. Okay, guys. Well, welcome to the show. If you've never seen me before, my name is Amanda, and this is Once in a Wild. Once in a Wild is our mobile zoo located right here in South Texas. We are in San Antonio, Texas, to be precise. We can service surrounding cities in San Antonio and otherwise surrounding San Antonio. And we can pretty much travel anywhere as long as it's by car. We can't go to like Hawaii or anything like that, obviously. But within reason, we can service the San Antonio area and surrounding cities very, very easily with our mobile zoo. And we can actually bring animals to your classroom, to your parties, to your offices, all kinds of situations, to your home just for the fun of it. Whatever you would like to hire us for, we can be there with some really awesome animals. We have mammals, we have birds, we have reptiles, amphibians, and even invertebrates, or what we like to call creepy crawlies here at Once in a Wild, right? And Ricky is reminding me to say, feel free to ask any questions, just comment and Amanda will reply promptly. Yes. So if you guys have any questions or concerns or anything about the animals or otherwise that you would like to bring up within reason, I will highlight the question or comment and answer the question right here on the live stream. Isn't that cool? And please let me know if any kiddos are watching and let me know what their names are so I can say hello if you want to. Pretty neat. Yeah, this is always an interactive event, and it's always a free event. Every single Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, we provide a live stream with about 3 to 5 animals, depending on the day. Today, I brought 3 today. And we teach you guys about the animals. You can meet the animals on the live stream and ask all the questions you would like about those animals that I brought or anything at all. Feel free to stump me with questions if you want to, or try to stump me. I have worked with many, many different types of animals in my career. I am a former zookeeper, still a zookeeper here at Once in a Wild, but I've also been a zookeeper, animal trainer, presenter, a lot of things. Excuse me, I need a beverage. Once in a Wild stickers available at onceinawild.com, by the way. Beautiful stickers. So we are a mobile zoo. We can provide animals to your events. Like I said, classroom presentations, very, very educational, as always. We can also bring them for animal therapy. Just enjoying the animals is always an option as well as photo opportunities too. For more information, visit onceinawild.com, of course, which is always down below as well during the live stream. Right here. There it is. Onceinawild.com will have all your information on booking, the services we provide, etc. And we also, of course, do virtual programs too. We don't only bring animals to the South Texas area and Central South Texas area like San Antonio. We can also bring the zoo to anyone all over the world as long as you have internet access via Zoom or any other platform that you would prefer, right? And also, you know, we can provide all kinds of educational animal presentations or just like kind of a little hangout with animals. We've done all kinds of virtual programs. The time at hand, we have gotten pretty good at those virtual programs, so those have been doing really well as well. In fact, I am pretty much booked solid for the rest of this week and next week for all kinds of virtual programs and in-person programs, so we're very happy to have all of that. And yes, all proceeds go to animal care, which is something we definitely want to emphasize lately. Of course, this is a business. We have to keep an operation, but all proceeds goes toward the animals. We're trying to build that back into our business, improving everything for the animals. Not that they're bad to begin with, but we use all the proceeds that we earn from you guys, whether it be tipping on this live stream. You guys are free to tip or donate to Once in a Wild via Venmo or Cash App, which that information is down here. And you can also donate to our Amazon wish list, which is at onceinawild.com right there. And if you need any other information, my number is right there. So if you need to call us for any reason, please do so if you would like. But yeah, so all of our earnings go back into the animals, whether it be their food, their enrichment, which is like things to do and enclosures and things like that, all kinds of things that the animals need, right? It's like having lots and lots of children. This is a little bit too bright, you guys. I'm going to turn this light down right here. That's a little better, I believe. So yeah, so I do want to emphasize that as well. It all goes back into what we do here Once in a Wild, which is providing the service of animal education. We also do pet care consulting, as well as general goodness to the public in general. So if you guys would love to support us, there's our 2 ways you can support us down here. And you can also book your very own encounter, which of course you'll pay for and support us that way as well. We are not going to discuss politics on here. That's one thing I will not discuss, and I do apologize. Definitely are not going to discuss politics on the live stream because I have both Republicans and Democrats and everything in between that are our friends, family, and followers, so I definitely don't want to have that discussion. It doesn't really pertain to what we do, so I appreciate you bringing that up, Sandra, but I definitely won't be bringing that up during the live stream. I do apologize. We can talk about that in private if you would like to private message us. Yeah. Sorry about that. Quick question about deer and elk. When traveling on the highway, do you think it's a good idea to honk at them when you are coming upon them while you slow down, or don't do it because it spooks them? I feel like anything you need to do to let the animals know that you're about to, be near them in the road, definitely you can honk. I do that. I certainly do. If the animal hears you and looks at you and then leaves, fair enough. But I think it's better to, slightly scare them to not be hit than for them to be hit by your car. That's what I think. So you can definitely honk. That is fine. Definitely okay. Okay, you guys. Are we ready to see some cute and awesome animals? We have 3 animals for you guys to meet today. I think we're going to start off with a mammal today. And it's actually a mammal I believe has ever been actually on the program before, but his species has been on the program before several times. I just usually don't bring this particular one on here for whatever reason. I usually pick Iggy, our guinea pig, but let's meet another guinea pig. And I think he deserves some attention today. And that's this guy. Isn't he just beautiful? Oh my goodness. Isn't he gorgeous? This is, what is his name? You're not Iggy. This is Billie Joe. This is Billie Joe, the Abyssinian guinea pig. Guinea pigs come from South America, not Guinea. The reason they call them a guinea pig is because back in the old days when the Europeans actually started moving them over from South America, which is where they're actually from, they started moving them over from South America to Europe. They became popular pets in Europe, and they became actually food animals sometimes in Europe, like other livestock. So they would sell them for about 1 guinea, and that's where the guinea comes from in their name, guinea pig, and where the pig part comes from, because they're not pigs either. They're not from Guinea and they're not pigs, right? So silly. So where the pig part comes from is going to be their noises. So guinea pigs make kind of a squealing noise, but guinea pigs also make about 15 other vocalizations too. So they don't just squeal like a pig, they can purr like a cat, they can grunt like a pig too. So I guess that's part of it being a pig too, but it's mostly because of that squealing noise that they are going to make. And that reminded some people of pigs, so they started nicknaming them the guinea pig because they're a cheap pig alternative, I guess, back in the day. But then they started becoming more like pets, and they were more like pets. They were kept for pets rather than food, more often, in Europe. And they started developing all kinds of breeds of guinea pig. So guinea pig were actually domesticated over 5,000 years ago, and maybe even more than that. We don't really know because we weren't there. I wasn't there 5,000 years ago. Or was I? No, I wasn't there. So 5,000 years ago, more or less, maybe more, the guinea pig started becoming domesticated in South America by the Incas, an indigenous, peoples there in South America, indigenous people there. They started basically bringing them into their lives for farming purposes, food, and also occasionally they would keep their favorite little guys for pets for their children and for all kinds of people. And in fact, they were so popular that they would be given to like as gifts and things like that too. And eventually over time, they started becoming more of a pet than a food item. And then we started developing all kinds of breeds of guinea pig. And he's actually an Abyssinian guinea pig. I'm going to hold him so you can see his whole body. Isn't he so super cute? Abyssinian guinea pigs have these beautiful rosettes all over their body. It's kind of like these little swirls. They're called rosettes. And they kind of look like they have a little faux hawk on the top, right? Or a mohawk. But that is how their hair looks all the time. He doesn't have to style it like that. That's just how it grows. Isn't that amazing that they can actually develop all these breeds and looks? His color is also, of course, a specialized color. It's called tortoiseshell. Tortoiseshell, kind of like a tortoiseshell cat, if you're familiar with those cats. Oh, buddy, you're so cute. And he's kind of like a mix of reddish brown and black all together. Christian, hi Christian, nice to see you on here. Christian says, do they respond well to training? Any animal can be trained at least somewhat. These guys, well, this guy in particular, he's a younger guinea pig, so he's still in training. And what we particularly train them for is for being handled. So they have been through their training process as we've gotten to know them and kept them here once in a while. We mostly train them to stay calm on people's laps or being held and things like that, just like he's doing right now. He's doing a really good job. Maybe a little wiggly, but not too bad. He's so cute. But yes, they can be trained to do all kinds of things. In fact, if you look it up on YouTube, there's all kinds of guinea pigs doing some really neat things, like doing little obstacle courses and things like that. We personally here at Once in a While just haven't done any of that. That doesn't mean that we won't. At some point, I might train them to do some really fun behaviors and things in the future. You never know. They're super duper smart, even though they're rodents. Rodents are smart sometimes. Rats are really smart, and mice too. Rats and mice can be trained to do all kinds of things as well. So I don't see why not. I personally, like I said, haven't done that much with them other than training them for their basic being handled and held and things like that. They certainly do learn the patterns of the day. They know that when I come in the morning and turn the lights on, that's when they're going to get their breakfast. And they know what the bag of veggies sounds like sometimes. So any crinkling bag, they're like, veggies, yay! These guys are vegetarian, so their vegetables end up being one of their favorite foods. They do eat hay most of the time. And then they get a pellet diet as well, just a little bit of it every night. And that's mostly to give them their vitamin C and other vitamins and minerals they need. And thank you for saying he's cute, Christian. Thank you for being here. Viviana says, Billie Joe is so adorable with so many O's. Thank you. I think so too. He is super cute. He has such a beautiful coat. Cedric says, I like his mohawk. Thank you. I didn't even have to style it like that. It just grew like that. Wouldn't it be cool if your hair just grew whatever style you desired? I think that would be neat. I have kind of curly, wavy hair myself. Sorry, I'm just looking at everybody's comments. Viviana says, my son said he looked scary, but I think it's the color of his coat that he's seen Iggy before. Yes. So you guys might have seen Iggy on the show before. He looks a lot different. Iggy is a broken, his coloration is broken red and white. That's what that's called. This one's called a tortoise shell. And Iggy, of course, has long hair because Iggy is a Peruvian guinea pig. And this guy here is a Abyssinian guinea pig. Ricky says, so punk rock. Yes, he's named after Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day. If you're familiar with him, that's why we call him Billie Joe. He's got that crazy hair too. All of our 4 guinea pigs are named Billie Joe, Dexter, Noodles, and of course Iggy. Y'all know Iggy. Iggy's named after Iggy Pop, the famous punk rocker. I think he is just adorable. But I find it fascinating that these guys came from a wild rodent over in South America, and then eventually, over the thousands of years they've been domesticated, we've been able to develop all kinds of different breeds of them. They're a very old species to have become domesticated. I want to make sure and hold him up so he feels comfortable. He's so sweet. His name is Billie Joe, Tim. So we named them after punk rockers because all of ours have kind of crazy cuckoo hair. So except for Dexter, he has really, really sleek kind of black hair. He is beautiful. Christian says, excuse me, how often do you cuddle them to sleep on the couch? Never have I slept with them on the couch, but I do try to hold them and give them what we call lap time or bonding time often, at least a few times a week minimum. And then when they go on programs, a lot of times they will sit in our guest laps and just be loved on and be themselves. What a job, right? Wouldn't you love to just be like getting massages for your job? All punk rockers. That's right. That's what we named our guinea pigs after. Yeah, very, very nice. But the best thing to bond with a guinea pig, just in case you guys were wondering, is to hold them a lot. Some of them enjoy being picked up, but once they're picked up, they seem to settle really, really well. They do much better like on your lap with like a blanket on top of your lap or something like that. Number one, they do use the restroom a lot, so that helps your lap to stay safe from accidents. But they're rodents, so they use the restroom quite a bit. They will pee and poop quite a bit. It's a lot. Their poop isn't that big of a deal, but they do pee as well. So the best thing to do to bond with them is actually set them in your lap with either like a blanket or a towel, and just spend a ton of time with them on your lap and pet them and talk to them, etc., or hold them like this sometimes. But they feel a lot more secure being on a surface. If you noticed, he kind of feels a little bit better, I think, just kind of hanging out right here on my 2 hands than he does being picked up. But he's been, of course, trained for this, so he's fine. But a new guinea pig that you may adopt or be around may not be super excited about that. The hardest part about guinea pig handling is actually picking them up out of their enclosure or habitat. They tend to go into prey mode and they want to run away and hide. But the nice thing about guinea pigs is they almost never ever bite. They're not inclined to bite like other rodents are, like hamsters, for example. They bite a lot worse than guinea pigs, in my opinion. So it's kind of easy to scoop them up, but they are quite fast. So you have to kind of just like do so gently, but also quickly so they can't like just run away. But that's how all guinea pigs kind of are. Iggy is definitely the most mellow of all of our guinea pigs, so he's the easiest to kind of catch up. But once they're with you, they settle down quite a bit, and they're actually excellent pets. We love to recommend these guys to responsible pet owners. We definitely don't think you should just impulse buy any pet animal, including dogs and cats. But these guys are domesticated. They're awfully sweet. They're very social. In fact, guinea pigs live in herds together that are groups of all kinds of guinea pigs. That's what I'm trying to say. So in the wild, they come from herds. They're the wild name for the guinea pig is the cavy or cooey. Some people call them cooey. That's kind of a colloquial term. That's a hard word to say. But cooey is more for when they were being kept as like food and things like that. A lot of people still call them cooey in South America. Not wrong. Just like saying fish or chicken or turkeys or anything like that that are kept for livestock, right? But now we call them guinea pigs as far as being a pet. I'm looking at everybody's comments. Tim says, do you have a guinea pig tattoo? If not, then when are you getting one? Pressure, pressure. That's a great, a great comment. I do have a lot of tattoos. And you know what's funny is all of my current tattoos except one are actually all Central and South American animals, just like guinea pigs. So maybe that would fit right into my tattoo. Maybe I'll think about putting Iggy in a tattoo. Don't tell Billy Joe, but Iggy is actually my favorite of all of our guinea pigs. He's just the best. But Billy Joe is awfully handsome as well. But no, I do not have a guinea pig tattoo yet, so who knows? My plans for my tattoos kind of, I'm always thinking about it for future reference, right? I do kind of want to do part of my tattoo as animals that I actually do have, or, kind of like my tribute to my own animals, including that cat we talked about. Yeah, Billy Joe is his name. We have Billy Joe, Noodles, Dexter, and Iggy Pop. Richard asks, do you bathe him? So Iggy, our long-haired guinea pig, gets a lot of baths because his hair literally drags the ground and gets very, very dirty. Guinea pigs do groom themselves a little bit. If you looked at our announcement for our Facebook presentation that we're doing right now, which is this is on Facebook, if you go to our social media on Facebook or Instagram, for example, or maybe even Twitter, I'm not sure, for the live stream, you'll see Iggy actually washing his own little face. But that's about all they can do. They can't like wash their long fur, etc. They're kind of messy animals. Now in the wild, they're short haired, so they don't really worry about dragging their fur all in the ground. That long hair about 3 to 4 times a month. And I do brush him at least every 2 days, if not every other day. With Billy Joe, an Abyssinian guinea pig, they don't really need as much care because their hair always looks fabulous all the time. I wish I had hair like that. That would just look always awesome. He doesn't get nearly as dirty, but he does get occasional baths. And he gets his nails trimmed as needed. So guinea pigs definitely need their nails trimmed as needed. That's something they all need, whether they have short hair or long hair. And then the long-haired guinea pigs, the medium-haired guinea pigs like this need a little bit more care, but especially the ones with the long, long hair that never stop growing. So we do have to trim it, bathe him, blow dry, condition, brush, all the things, just like your own hair. That's a good question. Guinea pig facts, yes. They are actually excellent pets. They're very social. Like I said, they live in big herds together. In the wild, it's typically 1 or 2 males with lots and lots and lots and lots of females. Males are called boars and females are called sows. In the care of humans, you can keep a group of boars together or a group of sows together, but I don't recommend keeping both together unless you want to multiply by many, many, many. These guys can actually have babies very, very young. I think as early as, I'm trying to think, I don't want to misquote, but it's just a few weeks old that they can actually have babies because guinea pigs are actually born very, very, very developed, unlike most other rodents. So most rodents are born with like no hair, they can't see, they can't hear, they are fully reliant on mom, etc. Guinea pigs are born having to nurse and everything like that, like all mammals, but they're very self-sufficient right away. They have full coat of hair, they can see just fine, they can hear just fine, they can run around a little bit. And in a matter of a few weeks, they're old enough to actually become parents themselves. Isn't that incredible? So you definitely shouldn't keep male and female guinea pigs together. Even if they're siblings, they won't know the difference. They will breed together and you will have tons and tons of guinea pigs in no time and then tons more, and it's not great. So unless you're a professional guinea pig breeder or something like that, I don't recommend putting them together. You want to have same gender pairs or groups together. We have all males here once in a while. Good question, you guys. Callie says, hi from Claire Marie. He is so cute. Thank you very much for saying that. And hello, Claire Marie. That is a beautiful name. His name is Billie Joe. He's named after Billie Joe Armstrong, the famous punk rocker that we love so much. We love music here once in a while. So a lot of our animals are named after either musicians or things from movies and things like that. We love pop culture here once in a while. I think Billie Joe is just so cute. It's nice to have him on the show. Look at his hind end. He has like kind of a two-tone look, right? And in the front, oh my gosh, so super cute. I think he is just one of the handsomest guinea pigs that we have for sure. Don't tell the other ones. Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. If you're just joining us, my name is Amanda, and this is Once in a Wild. And every single week on Wednesday nights at 6:30 p.m. Central, we have our free live streams. If you guys would like to donate to the animals, we do have a couple of Venmo, Cash App, as well as PayPal are a few ways that you can help the animals out. All proceeds goes to animal care. And then also we do have onceinawild.com where you can, of course, book your own encounter. You can have a virtual encounter kind of like this where you get to pick the animals and the time of duration of time that you hang out with us. Or you can actually book us for in-person animal encounters if you happen to be in the San Antonio, Texas or surrounding cities area. So please let us know. But also at onceinawild.com, we have our Amazon wish list where you can actually donate items to our animals that we've already chosen. So no brainer there. You can actually just pick something that we already need and donate it to our animals. That is totally fine. You think his booty is so fluffy? I know, right? So cute. So guinea pigs are one of the few type of animals in the animal kingdom that have no tail. They have zero tail, none whatsoever. They don't even have a nub like a hamster does. They have absolutely no hair. So they are rodents like hamsters and rats and mice and squirrels, porcupines. All those guys are rodents. They're in the rodent family. What makes them rodents is their teeth. So 2 teeth on the top and 2 teeth on the bottom never stop growing his whole life. So because of that, he has to chew on things like wood or other enrichment or toys that we give him. Enrichment is just a fancy way to say something for the animals to do. So toys, activities, things like that. He chews on all kinds of cardboard and wood and all kinds of things. Also, eating a proper diet will actually take care of their teeth as well. Just like us, right? The more proper diet we eat, the better our teeth are. So for them, they have to wear their teeth down and grind them down by eating a lot of hay. So they're actually going to eat things like Timothy hay or orchard hay and also grasses and greens and weeds and things like that. In the wild, they're going to be grazing on grasses and plants all the time, pretty much all day long. My favorite fact about guinea pigs is they actually don't sleep very much. They're always active most of the time. They sleep about 4 hours a day, but it's in small increments throughout the day. So they don't really sleep very long at all for any period of time. And they actually are awake about 20 hours every single day. I wish I had that kind of energy. I would give anything to have so much energy like that. But guinea pigs are always on the move. They're always grazing throughout the day. They're always eating plants and they're always processing that plant straight through their bodies, if you know what I mean. But by eating hay and grass in the wild, that helps them to actually wear their teeth down as well. My goodness, he's so cute. That helps them to wear their teeth down naturally as they eat. So that is something we also provide for them, and you should provide for them if you have guinea pigs, is Timothy or orchard hay 24 hours a day. So they can be grazing all the time if they want to. They literally eat all the time. What a life. All the energy in the world and always eating all the time, snacking on snacks. I definitely think that guinea pigs' love language is definitely snacks. Some of them actually really like love and attention as well, words of affirmation, I guess, as well as affection. But most of them, man, snacks trump all of that by far. Tim says, if you put googly eyes on his booty, it would be hard to tell the difference. Thank you for the info. Great stuff. You are welcome, Tim. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for the nice compliment as well as question. Yeah, guinea pigs are potato-sized and potato-shaped. It's almost like if we put a bunch of hair on top of a potato and then put eyes on one end of the potato and ears. You really can't tell the difference, can you? They're kind of shaped the same in the back as they are in the front. Don't you love it? Aren't they cool? Furry potato. That's a rodent. Aren't they cute? I think he's adorable. Look at that sniffing nose. Like all rodents, they have great senses. They have good vision. They have a good sense of smell, great sense of hearing, good sense of touch, and taste. All 5 senses, just like we do. We're not that much different, are we, Billy? They have super tiny legs. They're not good at climbing, but they're pretty good at running away from danger. They do have a lot of danger in the wild. As you might imagine, a tiny potato-sized rodent living in South America has a lot of predators to worry about. You can probably think of some South American predators like hawks and eagles, jaguars, ocelots, all kinds of things. If they get too close to the water, maybe a caiman or a crocodile, right? Maybe even anacondas and other snakes, all kinds of snakes, boa constrictors in South America. Lots and lots of enemies to worry about in the wild. Luckily, he doesn't live in the wild, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But in order to get away from danger, they can scurry or run away. They can also jump into their burrow underground if they happen to be a burrowing type KV or guinea pig. Not all guinea pigs are created equal in the wild. In fact, the species of KV or cooey that the domestic guinea pig now came from a long time ago is now extinct. That species doesn't exist anymore, but there are many other species of them that are super similar, and a lot of them have different like habits or ways of being depending on their terrain or where they're from in South America. South America is a huge, giant continent, right? So, depending on if it's a rocky area, a jungly area, more of a savanna type area, they're going to adapt in those ways to be able to survive and stay safe. So some of them go underground a lot. Some of them just go underneath bushes and things, but they definitely feel safe by hiding underneath things. And the domestic guinea pig is no different. A frown with no tail. Aw, that's so cute. Okay, you are so very cute. We could talk about guinea pigs all night long, but I think we should move on to our next animal. What do you guys think? Let me know if you have any questions about our guinea pig. They are wonderful, wonderful animals. Very, very kind of underrated program animals, in my opinion. By program animals, I mean like animal ambassadors that we have here at Once in a Wild and at other places like zoos I worked at and things. I think these are wonderful animals to talk about. They definitely have their purpose in nature, which is, of course, on the food chain. They're unfortunately food. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're food. But you're not food. You get to live your life as an animal ambassador here at Once in a Wild and be loved for the rest of your life. Don't you, Billy Joe? You're so spoiled and wonderful. We love you. Okay, Billy, let's say goodbye really quick to the people because I know they want to see your face one more time. And if you would like to hang out with Billy Joe here in the San Antonio, Texas area, let me know. We have 4 guinea pigs to choose from. Most of the time when we bring our guinea pigs places, we bring more than one because, again, they're very social. And we love to, kind of show you a little bit of variety with the guinea pigs we have, as well as give our guinea pigs breaks sometimes. So when we have especially all-day events where we're doing animal therapy with our animals and they sit in people's laps and things and enjoy them, we like to give our animals nice breaks in between. So we do oftentimes bring several guinea pigs. But if we were to bring them to your home or your office, we would bring more than one. So what a treat to have more than one guinea pig. But let me know if you're interested in meeting him or the other guys, and I'll be happy to bring them there. Or you can meet him on a virtual program of your very own. Just let us know, okay? You know where to find us. She says, Gemstar, aka Viviana, says, bye-bye, bye, Billy Joe. Bye-bye, Billy Joe. That's what I meant to say. Say bye, cutie pie. Okay, guys. And again, a very underrated pet as well. A lot of people just think, oh, they're just guinea pigs, but they're actually fascinating animals and very, very social. Like I said, very, very sweet, potentially trainable to do all kinds of things, I think, and not potty trained. That's the unfortunate part. So they do need their own habitat or enclosure or place to live that's nice and secure for them. The best thing for your guinea pig is actually to build something nice and big. It's not hard. If you ever need help with any of that, you can, of course, look it up online or YouTube or all kinds of sources that way. Or you can let me know, and I'd be happy to assist you with all kinds of pet care counseling, if you will. And I can show you what I've built for our guinea pig. It's not hard at all to build, but it gives them tons and tons of room to run around. I remember they're awake for 20 hours a day, and taking little naps here and there. So they're pretty much always awake. So they need to have lots and lots of room to run around. It's also very important to have them as at least a social pair. So the best thing to do, honestly, if you want to adopt your own guinea pig, I don't blame you. They're super cute. They are high maintenance though. They need a lot of cleanup because they're always using the restroom all the time. They need a big habitat. So you're going to need the space for that. But also the best thing to do is go through a rescue. So not only are you saving some lives by rescuing your guinea pigs, potentially, they're also probably already going to have bonded pairs that are together, and they're already at least maybe like a year old or more. Sometimes they have younger ones. I don't recommend younger guinea pigs for beginners because younger guinea pigs are more nervous. Older guinea pigs, like a year old and up, etc., are a lot more calm and a lot easier to handle, especially for children and things like that. I don't recommend getting pets for children only. It should be a family affair, if you will. But going through a rescue, they're going to be able to educate you on proper housing, already bonded pairs or groups, like I said, and etc. And maybe they're older ones that they're already in a home, and they're going to live for, you know, up to maybe not 9 years. They could live to 9 years, usually around 7 to 8, maybe 9. So it's not like if you get a year-old guinea pig that it's just going to like pass away tomorrow. You still have plenty of time with your potential pet. But that is what I recommend. Always rescue if you can. You're saving lives and you are doing the right thing by doing so. And you're probably going to get a lot of good advice, especially for animals like guinea pigs, that really it's not a huge deal if you rescue an adult versus a baby. Make sense? If you need any help, let me know. Okay, you guys, you've been fantastic so far. So let's go ahead and meet, well, I'm gonna wash my hands first because that is good practice, right? We're experts at hand washing this year, as well as hand sanitizing, which is what I'm doing right now. Speaking of hand sanitizing, that is something that we are definitely doing during our in-person animal programs. We're also masking up as well. And we try to social distance as best we can, but the nature of our job does require us to be kind of like helping you close up. But I do promise that we do mask up and we do frequent hand washing as well. So let me know if you're interested in an in-person animal encounter. They're a lot of fun, even though we have to take precautions. They've been a lot of fun regardless. So I'm going to actually, hi, we're coming close up. I'm going to angle my camera down just a tad because our next animal is quite large and I have to back up a little bit. So I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to make sure I'm in focus. Am I in focus? No. This is fun. Okay, sweet. Now I'm in focus. Okay, you guys, so we met a mammal. Let's go ahead and meet a reptile because we do provide animal encounters with mammals, birds, reptiles, creepy crawlies, amphibians, all kinds of animals. We even have fish. We haven't had fish on programs, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. But we do have axolotls, for example, which are also aquatic. Those can go on programs from time to time. They're definitely in virtual programs a lot. So if you want to meet our fish virtually, let me know. But I did want to bring a reptile on the show today that hasn't been on in a minute, or 5, or 10. And she's one of my favorites. So she's one of my oldest, dearest friends. I've had this particular animal for around 10 years or so. And I actually rescued her just kind of, it was kind of an impulse rescue, to be honest with you. But this was about 10 years ago, so forgive past Amanda for doing so. I felt so bad for this animal because I was walking around a flea market just kind of doing some browsing and shopping, just having a good old time. I used to live in Florida, so that's where I was. I was in North Florida, and I was walking around a flea market, and there was this animal, and she was in kind of a strange situation that didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's a reptile, so she was actually in a tank, but with no lights and no branches, only a little bit of mulch on the bottom, which is fine, more or less, for this animal. It's not a great choice for them. But it was something, I guess, and just nothing. She was just laying on mulch on the bottom of a bare tank with no lights. I thought that was strange for the animal to be there at all, let alone in the situation. So let's meet her, shall we? Now, she's been with me for a long time. It's a giant iguana. So what happened was, she was, I want to say, maybe not half the size, way over half the size, but definitely, hello, definitely not as big. You can see how wiggly they are. That's how iguanas are. So she's going to settle down here in a little bit. She always does this. She kind of like wiggles around, acts like everything's crazy, very dramatic, and then she'll settle down. So iguanas prefer to be up in the trees. They are very, very arboreal. They are the opposite of the guinea pig, where the guinea pig is terrestrial, being on the ground, or underground, subterrestrial. Iguanas are arboreal. They like to be up in the trees, climbing. And if you're wondering what's that by her mouth, that is just some shed skin that she's about to shed. Lizards do shed their skin like snakes, but they do it in pieces instead. So JoAnna, the iguana, is the animal I'm talking about in that story. So I walked up on that tank and I was like, what is happening with this almost adult-sized iguana? She was probably like, I'll just say half this size. She was over half this size. Definitely not the right weight though, so she was quite skinny. Definitely didn't look like a good situation. And I asked the person kind of attending that area of the flea market, I said, what's up with this iguana just like randomly here in a dark corner of your flea market? And he said, oh, somebody just dropped it off. They have a cage and everything, and it's for sale now. I thought, well, that's weird. Somebody just dropped it off. Why are you selling it right away? That's kind of strange. So if someone ever abandons their animal, it's really an unethical thing to just like sell them right away, in my opinion. They should definitely be like quarantined or assessed or had a vet visit or something, but they literally just flipped her and wanted to sell her right away. So I was able to negotiate a little bit. I think I paid like $50 for her. I don't really remember. It was something kind of cheap, but also like really, but I didn't want to leave her in that situation. My heart was breaking for her. I just knew that like literally anybody could come up and buy her that probably didn't know what the heck they were doing with iguanas. Iguanas are very, 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 very bad pets. They should not be for sale in pet stores. They are terrible choices for a pet. And they don't do well in the care of humans usually. Usually they get adopted as tiny little babies, which is probably what happened to her in the first place. She probably was purchased as a baby. And then the person that dropped her off probably didn't want her anymore, or maybe like the boyfriend or girlfriend didn't want them anymore, or the husband or wife, whatever, or the mom or the dad of the child that got her. Maybe she was growing too big and they didn't want to take care of her anymore. But it's always important in that situation for animals to be properly rehomed, not just dropped off at a random flea market. That wasn't great at all. These people that had her there definitely didn't know what they were doing. It was more of a money-making situation, so I don't like that at all. So anyway, a lot of times they're adopted as little baby lizards. They're not very big. They're very, very cheap, very inexpensive. They used to sell for like $5 or $10 back in my day when I was first learning about reptiles. I was born in 1984, but getting to know reptiles as a child and a little bit older as a teenager, they were super cheap. So literally anybody could just buy this lizard as a baby, and then eventually they grow up to be a huge monster in every way that you can think of. So I love her so much. I think she is a wonderful animal. She is definitely a wild animal. These are not domesticated like a guinea pig. Don't recommend them for a pet at all. They can be very territorial, very defensive, and quite aggressive when they want to be. They grow very large. This is a female. Males actually get twice this size. Can you believe that? What a monster to have. So as a baby, they're tiny. They're about the size of her arm as a baby, maybe less, and with a long tail on them, and people buy them and don't expect them to be huge. They don't know what their proper diet is. They don't keep them in the proper enclosure. They need special lighting. They have to have ultraviolet light, UVB and UVA, and they have to have all kinds of vitamins and minerals. They have to have proper heat and humidity. They have to have somewhere to use the restroom. They typically enjoy using the restroom in a water bowl, or in the wild, it would be in the river. So there's a lot of things that most people that purchase a baby iguana, I'm saying most, not all. I don't think every iguana purchase is unethical and uneducated, but a lot of people impulse buy them and then take them home. I never recommend an iguana for anybody to take home, period, unless you are a professional or someone like me who maybe had really, really it was impulse, but I had a lot of experience already with keeping reptiles. It was my first green iguana, my personal first green iguana, but I'd taken care of them in the past. And I'll admit back then I didn't know a whole lot, but I did a lot of research and I wanted to give her a good life. And I've done my very best to do so ever since. And she's been with me for over 10 years and thrived. So We used to keep her on a back porch that was screened in. So she was able to get natural sun, natural humidity from the Florida weather and all the rain and things. Naturally, they're found in South America and Central America, and they're actually invasive to Florida too. They thrive in most Florida climates as well. But unless you're able to provide all those things to an iguana and also a giant enclosure, because they get huge and they're very active and they climb trees. So it needs to be a giant, tall enclosure with lots and lots of branches, and they need salad just about every day. If you live in a warm environment, they're going to be hungry every day. If you get seasons like we do here in Texas, she doesn't eat every day in the winter because her metabolism slows way down. She just doesn't want to eat every day. She has to come inside at night or when it's too cold. They're only outside above 60, and it has to be sunny outside as well, not like 60 and dreary and gross outside. Yeah, there's a lot to think about when getting a giant monster-sized lizard. And also, on top of that, they're not usually handleable. This has taken a ton of work and relationship building for me to get JoAnna the way she is. JoAnna was already a pretty nice iguana for an iguana, but she still has gone after me before. She still has gotten really sassy with me before. In fact, she's one of the only animals that has really injured me before. And I can't blame her whatsoever because she is a wild animal. This is not a domestic creature whatsoever. There's nothing that's been bred into these guys to make them a better pet. You know what I'm saying? Like genetically. So they're pretty much a wild animal in people's house. Not great. I don't condone that at all. They have very, very, very sharp teeth. Some of the sharpest teeth in the animal kingdom. I kid you not. It is like a hot knife through butter to get bitten by these guys. And I have gotten bit by her as well as other iguanas in my past. That's part of the job sometimes, is having accidents happen. They do now and then. We do our very best to not let that happen. And she's a sweet iguana, but accidents happen. They're wild animals. Not only do they have razor sharp teeth, and what they eat in the wild is going to be leaves. So they eat very large leaves off of the trees that they live in out in Central and South America. They also eat flowers and fruits too. But the leaves that they have to eat oftentimes are very tough leaves. So they have sharp teeth and they grab onto the leaf like this. And they basically do what a shark does to an animal in the ocean. An iguana will bite onto a leaf and scissor it off like that. They razor it off by shaking their head and then gulping the leaf down. Pretty awesome, but they have super sharp teeth. They also have some of the sharpest nails in the animal kingdom, built for climbing trees and built for defense. Their nails, no kidding, are actually sharper than a cat's claws. And I do trim and file her nails. That's the only reason I'm able to hold her like this. Otherwise, I would be all cut up and probably a little bit of blood showing, if not more blood. Also, she has spikes on her back, which are pretty secondary as far as a, defense mechanism, but the razor sharp teeth, razor sharp claws, amazing. And the spikes on the back, which can deter predators too. She also has a really long tail. Her tail is about 3 or 4 foot long by itself. And that tail is very strong and whip-like. It can be used like a bull whip to whip a human in the face or to whip a predator in the face. So they have a ton of reasons right on their body and weapons. They're kind of like ninjas full of weapons, why they shouldn't be pets. To the average person whatsoever, not at all. I don't recommend them. I don't even recommend them to most zookeepers to like have for a pet. They're a huge commitment. They live a long time. They can live to be 25, maybe even 30 with proper care. I hope she lives that long because I adore her. We think she's at least 14 or 15, but we honestly have no idea how old she is because who knows what kind of care she got before she came into our lives, right? But we love her anyway. Okay, Tim says, JoAnna the iguana, love it / her. Although we never want to drop animals, I heard on the iguana streets that they can fall from high distances. Is this true? I agree. Not a great pet for most people if passionate, adopt. Yes. So if you happen to be one of those just reptile fanatics, I see you guys out there, or you do exist, and you want to adopt a larger lizard and you've done a ton of research, maybe you've already spent time with other people that have iguanas, or you're just all about it, or you want to save one, adopt. Many iguanas end up being rehomed over and over and over again. That happens a lot with larger animals in general, like large tortoises, large lizards. I'm trying to think. Parrots get rehomed a lot. A lot of animals get rehomed. Even guinea pigs get rehomed a lot. I mean, it happens a lot. Dogs and cats. But a lot of times with animals that start small and end up big or end up being aggressive, they will need homes. So there's a lot of rescues out there that specialize in reptiles and exotic animals that you can look into. I do recommend doing that. Here's a good question from Viviana. Sorry if I missed the answer to this question, but do iguanas molt like snakes do in order to grow? Yes, they do. So we call it shedding when it comes to reptiles. Molting is more like an invertebrate type thing. So invertebrates like arachnids, like spiders and scorpions, or insects, they molt. But almost a tarantula, a iguana will shed their skin, and they shed it in pieces. Can you see the piece of skin that's kind of grayish right near her mouth, or on her mouth right there on her lips? If iguanas have lips, I don't know. But that kind of discolored area on her face is actually skin that's getting ready to shed. And then to further answer your question, Tim, sorry, you said I heard the iguanas. I heard on the iguana streets, that's very cute, that they can fall from high distances. Yes, that is very true. Of course, it's only for extreme measures. So iguanas are super tough animals, if you hadn't already guessed by all my description of them. Super tough animal, very, very capable of defending themselves and capable of surviving. Look at that iguana belly. Oh, she's so cute. Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to point out your belly. I don't think she liked that. Sorry. Sorry. Chill. Chill. It's only me. Chill like a lizard chills. Oh, look at her arms. She's like, where's the rest of the tree? I got you. I got you, sweetie. I got you. A little bit longer. A little bit longer. You're doing great. You're doing fine. She is so cool. So yes, they can. Survival purposes, iguanas can climb trees hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet high, very high. And if they feel threatened enough by either a hawk or an eagle or any animal up in the tree, maybe it's a cat or something like that in the tree, anything at all. If they feel, even just like feel like doing that normally, if there's not even a threat, they just want to leave. But especially if they see a hawk, I've definitely seen this before in Central America. They are up in the trees. They can literally dive down all the way into the jungle. They might hit other trees, but usually they're going to be roosting above water. So their goal is to actually dive into the river or the lake below or whatever. Usually it's a river in South America and Central America. They will dive into the water and swim away for safety. So not only are they amazing climbers and just amazing lizards in general, they actually are great swimmers too. They can tuck in all their legs and limbs. Legs and limbs are the same thing. And they can use their tail, kind of like a fish tail, to swim away to safety. And most hawks and eagles won't, go after them or feel like that's much of a, it's too much work to be able to fish them out of the river. So typically they can go under the water and swim for a while and get away and go across the river, or stay underwater for a while. They can hold their breath for quite a long time, a lot longer than we can. Did you know that marine iguanas over in the Galapagos Islands, those guys can hold their breath for hours to be able to graze on underwater plants? Marine iguanas are amazing animals. You should look them up. Now, I don't know if you guys saw when I first brought JoAnna the iguana out, she actually sneezed out of her nose. That's very, very normal. An iguana sneezing isn't the same thing as a human sneezing where we're like sick or something like that. An iguana actually expels salt in their system through their nostrils by sneezing it out. So it's a daily thing for iguanas to sneeze it out. She actually did that on her way out. So if you want to replay the video back to when I first brought JoAnna out, once this video is over, you'll be able to watch it again if you want to. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook to do so. But you can actually see her sneezing some of that liquid out of her nose, which is actually the way that iguanas expel salt. So marine iguanas over in the Galapagos Islands, they're swimming in the ocean. So they're great swimmers and they can hold their breath for a long time. Like I said, when they come out of the ocean, they have to get rid of some of that excess salt that they've consumed by just being in the ocean. Undoubtedly drinking some of the ocean water, and having that in their system. So they're going to sneeze it out and it'll come right out like a catapult out of their nose. Pretty cool. And my favorite thing about the iguana, backtracking a little bit, is their third eye. So an iguana actually has a clear scale on top of their head. It's really hard to show it to you. If I remember before I put her away, I will. But if I tilt her down that direction, she won't care for that. And she'll probably become very uncomfortable in that position that I have to show you the little dot on her head. But on top of the top of her head in the center is a clear scale, which is very tiny, but it can actually function almost like a third eye. Isn't that amazing? Iguanas aren't the only lizards that have this function. A lot of lizards do have it, but iguanas are super duper responsive to shadows and movement via their third eye. which is a scale on top of their head, which connects straight to their brain and can tell them that shadows and moves. I'm looking at Billie Joe over there playing in the towel that I gave him. So cute and distracting. But they basically use that to be able to sense predators if they take a nap. So if they're up in the tree, they nap a lot. Iguanas are just, they're hanging out in trees all day long, eating plants and taking naps. That's their life. And coming down to the river to either get away from danger or use the restroom. Usually they'll come down to use the restroom in the water. That helps their system to kind of use the bathroom a little bit, like I said earlier, with their care. But anyway, so they'll be roosting up in the trees, taking naps, having a nice little nap, an iguana nap, not a cat nap, right? A lizard nap, and they will shut their eyes fully, but they can still sense shadows and movement overhead via that clear scale on top of their head, which is their third eye. Isn't that cool? So they can actually wake up from a deep sleep, and they, if they feel like there's danger, then they'll jump out of the tree and swim into the river. Sometimes they'll just move, to hide underneath a leaf or something like that. Super cool. Hello, Tanja. So good to see you today. I was thinking about you today. She says, third eye superpowers. That's my favorite fact about some lizards, but mostly iguanas. Iguanas are fantastic, amazing lizards to talk about. They're one of my favorite lizards to teach you guys about, but they are absolutely not a good house pet. That is the only thing I will say. Look how gorgeous. Look at her beautiful green belly. She's so cute. You can see why they call them the green iguana. Green iguanas can sometimes be brown, and they can sometimes be kind of gray, but they change colors, kind of like a chameleon does. They have chromatophores in their scales and skin, which can actually basically whiten and become small again, and that can make it look like she's changing colors right in front of your eyes. An iguana doesn't change colors as often as a chameleon, but they do change color for around the same reasons. They could change color to communicate with other iguanas. They could change color to become darker so that way they can absorb more sunlight and become warmer if they feel too cold. And the opposite happens where they become lighter if they feel too hot, and they'll reflect sun's rays. Tim says, tell us about those long toes. What are those? I love your comments and questions, Tim. You're fantastic. Keep it up. Don't stop. Don't ever stop being you. These long toes function for climbing. So they're long lizard back toes. Can you see them? Aren't they amazing? They remind me of salad fingers. If you know what salad fingers is, shout out to you, and you're awesome. They have long lizard toes with very, very, very razor sharp claws. I can't tell you that enough, how razor sharp her claws are if I don't trim them and file them. Her claws on her fingers on her, the claws are the same, but the fingers on her front feet aren't as dramatic looking. They still remind me of salad fingers. She's like, I'm out of here if you're going to call me salad fingers. I'm sorry, my lady. I'm so sorry. She is the queen, the lizard queen forever and ever. She is definitely in charge of everything we do and supervises. She thinks. So yes, I don't know why they have such weird long toes. Now she's insulted. How dare you call me weird? But I do know that they do function mostly for climbing, and they can also use their claws for itching their itches. Where you go? You're going to go backwards? Is that what's happening? No, we're not. We're not doing that. Chill out. Lounge around like a lizard does. Y'all see? Y'all see what I have to deal with and work with? So with lizards too, you can't, I can't restrain her because she'll never forgive me. And I also can't put her down when she's acting like this, because then she'll learn if she wiggles, then she'll just get away with it. So I gotta wait it out. It's not fun. Oh, there she goes. A nice little, there we go. I could feel her just fine, sighing. They never really enjoy being held, but they do learn to tolerate it. Did you see that beautiful pink tongue? Oh my gosh, her beautiful pink tongue is so gorgeous. Yeah, like a human's tongue. Okay, I don't know if they have a purpose to having the super long toes. If any herpetologists out there that specify an iguana information knows why, let me know. I do know that they can reach up and scratch themselves with their toes, so maybe that helps a little bit. I do know that they mostly function for climbing and defense. Mostly climbing. Good question, though. I love your questions. Keep it up. Y'all notice that she has a great big dewlap. Do you guys know what a dewlap is? That's this thing. Her dewlap is gorgeous. Are you going to let me show everyone your dewlap? Oh, it's hard to do. I need like one more limb to show you. This is her dewlap here that I'm messing with. It doesn't hurt her to do this, by the way. It's perfectly fine. She has that dewlap. Her dewlap can expand like this. She has a piece of cartilage that's very hard right in the front of her dewlap that functions like a sail on a boat. So there are a few reasons they have the dewlap. They can expand the dewlap like I just showed you. The delayed reaction, I guess. They can expand the dewlap like the sail on a boat to be able to look really big and intimidating to predators or to other iguanas in their territory. This animal is extremely territorial. Iguanas don't really enjoy friends, males and females, and also other females and females can get along okay. Males and males, absolutely not. They cannot be together ever in an enclosure or even in the wild. They will fight until one of them gives up or one of them runs away. Ideally, iguanas actually do function better alone. They prefer to be solitary, but they can tolerate each other from time to time. It just depends on your situation. They need a ton of room if you're going to cohabitate iguanas. I don't recommend doing that though. They can become territorial at the drop of a hat and decide to attack one another. So sometimes they raise their dewlap to be able to look really big and intimidating to another iguana, like, hey, get out of my territory, I'm bigger than you, yada, 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 super impressive, blah, 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 iguana talk. And then sometimes it's to look big for a predator, like, hello, Mr. Jaguar, please don't eat me today, I'm too big to swallow, which is probably not true, but it might be a first kind of tactic. It also can be raised to impress lady friends. If she were a male iguana, you're not. I know you're a beautiful lady. But male iguanas might raise their dewlap to look really handsome for the ladies and maybe do a few head bobs and things and courtship behaviors. And also they can raise their dewlap to get a little more sun. It can function almost like a satellite dish. Satellite dish? Not what I was thinking of. What do you call that? What do you call that when you have a solar panel? That's what satellite dishes for sound. Disregard. They can function like a solar panel to absorb more heat. It's just more surface area, right? It's more surface area to absorb more sun if they need a little bit more warmth or heat. UV rays is also very important for their calcium intake and for their metabolism and overall well-being. You should also get some UVAs too in your life. UV rays in your life too. UV is important for everyone in small increments. Tim says, climbing. You're right. You do know. I knew it was climbing and probably other things. I mean, why do we have fingers for all kinds of things, right? I can't, Tim, you can't type and I can't talk today. So, you know, we're one and the same today. Ricky says, what does the head bob look like? I said head bob, not head bop, but I would love to hear the song called the head bop or the dance. So the head bob, I'm actually going to let her rest because I think she's had enough. And she is the lizard queen. So we do as she says and we obey the lizard queen and she's being awfully good. So I'm going to end on that note with her, but I'm going to show you what the lizard head bob looks like. How about that? Guys, you guys are fantastic. Okay, so JoAnna the iguana, the lizard queen, has done fantastic, and I think it's time to let her rest. They are a diurnal lizard, so she's probably ready to go to bed, to be honest with you. She's a fantastic, wonderful lizard. I love her with all my heart. Okay, JoAnna, say goodbye to your fans and goodbye to your minions. Oh, the best. Okay, goodbye. You can rest down below in your lap of luxury. Oh my goodness, the best iguana in the land. So all you have like a bit of a, I call it a bit of a god complex. They think that they're like the best thing ever since sliced bread. So the iguana head bob, are you ready for this? So iguanas do the head bob for different reasons. Usually it's territorial or sometimes it's courtship. So territorial is more like, get out of my territory, like that. And then courtship can be like, hey, pretty lady, what about my head bob? You're welcome. Favorite food item for JoAnna, hibiscus flowers happen to be one of her favorites. She also really likes bananas on occasion. Bananas are just a treat item, but she honestly doesn't refuse any food. Lately, she really likes tortoise pellets. She steals those from the tortoise sometimes. Sometimes when we need to put a little weight on her, we can give her some tortoise pellets to kind of help her calorie intake. As you can see, she hasn't missed many meals lately, but she is an older girl, middle-aged at least. So we want to make sure that she's keeping a healthy weight, especially like now it's becoming winter. We want to make sure her body weight stays up. All kinds of, can I do the head bob again? Let's do the head bob again. You're welcome. No more. That's enough. Yes, so she really, I mean, any greens that I feed her, she really likes. We do collard greens, we do mustard greens, dandelion greens, all kinds of natural weeds from the yard. We give her lots of browse as well. Browse, for you guys that don't know, is natural leaves of trees that you know haven't had pesticides on them. And of course are non-toxic. They usually will leave toxic leaves alone, but I have been educated to know which browse is safe for animals. So luckily I can do that for her. All kinds of things. She has a very wide variety of food items that she likes and eats. She doesn't seem to really discriminate that much, but hibiscus flowers, she will come running for them. Bananas too. Is that enough head bobbing for you, Ricardo? Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever about JoAnna now that she's put up. I don't mind still answering questions about her, though. She is one of my favorites, if you can't tell. One of the hardest animals that I have to take care of overall, but she's totally worth it, in my opinion. And she is absolutely the lizard queen. Okay, are we ready to meet our final animal? I think I need to restart my camera's timer really fast. There we go. We're all good for the next animal. By the way, welcome. If you've never been here to our program before, it is Once in a Wild Wednesday. I'm so glad I made you guys laugh. Are you having fun so far? If you like what you see, you can donate to our cause. If you want to, every little bit helps, and that's fantastic for us. All proceeds go to animal care, and you can do so via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. They're all the same handle, which is Once in a Wild. Easy enough, right? You can also go to onceinawild.com and donate to our Amazon wish list on the website as well. It's very easy to find. If you go to the main homepage, all the way on the bottom, it'll say donate to Amazon. And that'll take you to our Amazon wish list for JoAnna, for Billie Joe, and for all of our other animals. We have all kinds of animal items, which I probably need to update, but they're still good animal items if you want to donate. That would be fantastic. Or you can book your very own animal program, which is via onceinawild.com, or you can call us. There's both of those things right there. And book your very own animal encounter, whether it be virtual like this. Woo, can you imagine just, you know, having a virtual encounter all to yourself with all these animals? And you get to meet, usually for an hour, you get to meet about 8 animals, which is pretty awesome. Or however many animals, maybe a little less than that if you want more time with them. Everything's customized, so let me know. You can book your own virtual encounter or in-person encounter if you happen to be in our San Antonio, Texas area or surrounding cities. But that's a great way to help out us and our animals to thrive and continue rescuing and helping animals to live their best life here at Once in a Wild, if you know what I mean. JoAnna is probably the best example of that because she's been with us for a long, long time. She's been with me long before Once in a Wild was even an idea in our head. So pretty awesome that we can kind of transfer some of our animals that we've already rescued and had or just adopted in some way, shape, or form to be able to have kind of a job now. Isn't that amazing? They have that purpose in life to be able to educate the masses, if you will. So let's go ahead and meet our final animal, one of my other favorite animals that we have here at Once in a Wild. You guys know her. You guys love her. And it's just been a hot minute since she's been on the show too, so I figured I'd bring her on here. And last week we had nothing but creepy crawlies for Halloween. So happy November. We're going to have a variety of animals today. No turkeys, but I've got a little turkey right here. Look here. Good job. Here's our little turkey right here. It's Pikachu, the cockatiel. Pikachu, you don't want any treats today? That's what I thought. I thought you would like treats. Oh, you dropped your treats all over the place. I'm actually going to turn our lights down a little bit because under this light, she looks awfully light color. Pikachu, you stay right there. You stay right there and eat your treats like a cute girl that you are. Let's see. Let's see how the camera looks. That's a little better, right? Did you like how I kept her on screen the whole time? This is Pikachu, the cockatiel. She is a Lutino cockatiel or a yellow cockatiel. They're also a form of albino. So she does have red eyes and everything like that. This is a special coloration of them. They don't look like this in the wild, but it's a pretty common color to see in the care of humans. Another animal that isn't really domesticated, but been in the care of humans for a long, long time, thousands of years. So they have been able to develop different colors of them. And by they, I mean like breeders and things like that. Not me. I can't take credit for any of that. Cockatiels are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful birds. One of my favorite animals in the animal kingdom. They are a part of the parrot family. They are citizens or hookbills. All the same thing. Parrots, citizens, hookbills, all the same thing. Just different words for the same thing. Just like cavy, cooey, and guinea pig are all the same thing. Iguanas don't have that, but they're lizards and they're reptiles, so there you go. So these guys are birds, of course. They have feathers all over their body. They have scales on their feet. Did you know that all birds have scales on their feet? So birds and reptiles aren't that much different. And birds are closely related to some dinosaurs too. Isn't that amazing? More closely related than most reptiles are. So scales on their feet, feathers on their body. They're warm-blooded, like mammals. They lay eggs. They have a beak instead of teeth. And I'm sure there's other things I'm forgetting, but those are features of all birds. Now, features of all parrots is going to be their hooked bill. Their bill is very, very specifically designed to crunch nuts and seeds, and it's very strong, almost like a wrench or a tool on the front of their face. Very strong. They can bite very hard. She is very sweet, so she will not bite. But she can bite her food, which is what that bill is designed to do. Her beak is designed to do. And they can also use their beak to even climb. It is that strong. They can lift their entire body weight with their own face and just their beak. Pretty amazing. That's how strong they are. Imagine lifting your own body weight with your teeth. Crazy. We thought our teeth were strong, but not as strong as a parrot's beak. And also, parrots also have special toes. Not only do they have scaly feet like every bird, but they have special toe placement, which is zygodactyl toe placement. That means they have 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back. So how she's standing on me, she's got 2 toes facing forward and 2 backward. So instead of having 3 toes facing forward and 1 backward, her toes are kind of split differently. That's just how she is. So all parrots have that too. And all parrots, when they are resting, not leaning over to eat, but when they're resting and kind of sleeping or just hanging out, they have an upright stance. So they kind of look like they're sitting up like a person does, as opposed to hunched over like a toucan or hunched over like a songbird or a grackle or something like that. They kind of have this upright stance. So upright stance, hooked bill that is very strong like a tool, and zygodactyl feet. Tim says, I'm more of a Bulbasaur fan, but she's adorable. What is one or some of the ways that they are important to the environment they live in? Excellent question, Tim. Thank you for all your questions tonight, by the way. So these guys are a prey animal in Australia. So this species, the cockatiel, also related to the cockatoo. Cockatoos are just bigger versions of the cockatiel. Cockatiels are smaller versions of the cockatoo. They're both parrots. They're actually genetically related. We can prove that now through the power of science. We used to think that these guys were more closely related to like budgies and other parakeets and things, but they're technically not. They're related to cockatoos. They're just a tiny cockatoo. So both cockatoos and cockatiels live in Australia, and both those birds are actually prey for other animals. So animals like hawks and eagles and all kinds of predators that live in Australia can eat parrots. All parrots are actually prey for other animals too. They do have a bit of defense, which is going to be their beak. Their beak is very strong. It can bite. But tiny parrots, such as cockatiels, don't really bite very hard by comparison to like a bird of prey. So their main way to stay safe is actually flying away. They are very good at flying. They're very fast flyers. And they also live in very large groups or flocks together, right? And cockatiels and budgies and other birds in Australia that are small are also known for hanging out with other species of birds just for the safety in numbers. Because after all, if you're in a group of 100, for example, you don't have to be the fastest anything in the world. You just have to be faster than a few of your friends, right? So being in a group of 100 has much better odds. The odds are ever in your favor if you're in a big group rather than a small group of like 3. You know what I mean? Like you may be picked off by a predator. So prey is going to be probably their main function as a animal in the animal kingdom or circle of life, if you will. But they also do plant trees and other plants. So all of your seed-eating animals, I don't think that had any food on it, baby girl. I'm sorry about that. So this millet seed comes in like little clumps or flowers, if you will. And sometimes I pick one out that's already been picked off. Oh, my hand's getting tired. Let's switch hands. Would you mind, Pika? Speak up. Step up. Good girl. So, oh no. These guys are what we also call seed dispersers. As you can see, she's eating a lot of seeds and dropping a lot of crumbs. So out there in the wild, parrots of all sizes and all types all over the world, they eat seeds, they eat fruits, they eat vegetables, and they drop a lot of it as they go. And all the dropped seeds and things like that, yep, right on cue, all the dropped seeds can actually move to different places and plant new plants and trees where there wouldn't be trees or plants otherwise, right? So that's going to have new plants all over the place wherever they fly. They fly all over the place. She's got food on her face. Oh my goodness. But they can also eat the seeds too. And if they haven't happened to crunch all of them up, they can even poop them out and actually plant trees that way too. So seed dispersing when it comes to a parrot is usually via dropping the seeds because they tend to crunch up the seeds. But every now and then they might swallow one and then, like I said, plant the tree by going to the bathroom. A lot of animals do that. So for example, the cassowary, another Australian bird, a very large and dangerous bird, very different than a cockatiel, of course. A cassowary actually eats fruit whole and then uses the restroom and plants trees all the time that way. But similarly, the cockatiel can, just by eating and making a big mess, plant plants everywhere they go. Isn't that amazing? So that's a couple of ways that they are important to the natural environment. Thank you for that question. And all animals actually do function in some sort of way to improve the environment. It's only when it comes to like invasive species that exist in Australia and all over the world, even here in the United States, invasive species that don't belong in the area that they are in because of humans. We've either brought them over or they've happened to stow away somehow, etc. That's where we have problems because they haven't actually evolved to be in that environment. For example, feral cats, feral hogs, camels in Australia, all kinds of animals don't belong there and other places. So they are wreaking havoc on the animals that have naturally kind of evolved to that area or developed their adaptations to that area and function in a positive way. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to that. I hope that answers your question. So seed dispersion, planting trees and plants, and all prey. They're prey animals in the food chain, especially smaller birds like this. And that is why they usually live in big groups or flocks together. Aren't they cute? So we do have a flock of birds here at Once in a Wild. We have 4 African ringneck doves, 2 cockatiels, and 1 budgie that actually live all together in a little mini flock. And they seem to do very, very well together. And they seem to be very comfortable living in that group together. You want to come here? Good girl. She's like, where are the rest of my treats? I know I get treats for working. You sure do. And you are right. There's some more millet. Millet happens to be her favorite treat. But Pikachu is very good. She'll actually work for almost anything I give her. And she's a very easygoing, laid-back bird. So I got very, 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 very lucky with her. And she's one of my favorite animals. Yes, she is. Cockatiels in the wild are gray with some white markings, as well as a yellow face with orange cheeks. And males are more brightly colored than females, so they are a dimorphic species. Dimorphic means males look different than females. Iguanas are also a highly dimorphic species. They have much different features between male and female, and males are always larger as well. Cockatiels aren't really larger when it comes to being a male, but they do have brighter colorations, and it is very, very easy to tell a mature male from a mature female cockatiel. Cockatiels are also a monogamous bird. So once they find the love of their life, they're going to stay together. That means they mate for life, right? More or less. Unless something happens to one of them, they will stay together as a pair. Or, you know, I guess the occasional divorce happens. But as a species in general, parrots are, in general, monogamous. So they will stay together for life. Unless something happens to one of them or something. But they will also co-parent. Co-parent, that means that both parents will help raise the offspring. So parrots of all different kinds have different amounts of eggs per clutch. We call it a clutch, which is a grouping of eggs per time that they lay eggs. This sort of animal, the cockatiel, can have anywhere from 2, maybe even 1. I would say 1 to around, I think they can have up to 6 eggs in a clutch. That would be a very big clutch for them. So it's an average of about 4 per time. I've seen a clutch as small as 1 or 2. It just kind of depends, like people, I guess. We can vary as well. People, it's usually 1, but you can have 2 or 3 sometimes. But I would say an average of 4 babies per time. And I'm going to hold up my hand because it's been holding an iguana this whole time and a guinea pig. And now a cockatiel. No big deal. I'm getting strong, you guys. Excuse me. But these guys do co-parent. They will lay their eggs. They'll both sit on the nest. This sort of bird and most parrots actually nest inside of a hollow tree cavity. So they will find a hollow tree or a hole in some kind of tree situation. And they will go into that for safety when they nest and raise their young. They will lay their eggs in there, and mom and dad will take turns sitting on the eggs. And mom and dad will also feed their young, kind of take turns with that as well. How they feed their babies is not with milk like a mammal, right? They actually feed them by puking into the baby's mouth. Yum! But that is how birds feed their babies for the most part. Whether it's, come here. Good girl. Such a good little flyer. I know that was a really short flight, but I'm so proud of her. So, what was I saying? She's so cute. I'm distracted. So they will throw up into their baby's mouths to be able to feed them. It's basically kind of pre-digested food with whatever the bird has been eating. They will throw it up into the bird's mouth. Yum! But that's how they do. And mom and dad will take turns feeding them, sitting on the babies, sitting on the eggs until they hatch, etc. They're awesome little parents. Co-parent. They're awesome parents, if you will. And I just love them to death. Yes, we do. We love you, Pikachu. Everyone loves you. You're so, so cute. Both cockatoos and cockatiels have a crest of feathers on top of their head, which indicates their mood, kind of like the iguana's coloration might indicate her mood, etc. If she's paying a lot of attention, it might go straight up. If she's surprised, it might go straight up. So think of it kind of like my eyebrows. If I'm surprised, if I'm surprised, my eyebrows might go like that. Super surprised and dramatic. She's looking at me like, you weirdo. Are you seed dispersing? That was a little bit of seed dispersion on my desk there. So if I'm surprised, my eyebrows go up. If she's interested in something, or where are you going? Or if she's interested in something, her crest might go up. If she's surprised. If she's just kind of relaxed and eating, it'll kind of go up and down as she moves her head. And if she's feeling really upset and like scared, it might go all the way back down, like slicked back down is what I'm trying to say. So a parrot, or any bird for that matter, with very, very slick, like tight feathers to their body is not a happy bird. A happy bird is a bird that has their feathers slightly puffed up. If they're really relaxed and like having a little nap, they will puff their feathers even more to be kind of like, I'm so relaxed. They are very, very visual. They use a lot of feather language and body language to communicate their mood to one another, as well as to us. They're caretakers. Yes. So they try to talk to us all the time with body language, and they do talk to us as well with their voices. Pikachu's not super vocal. She does whistle a little bit. She does her what we call flock call to find me if I have left the room or something like that. She'll be like, hey, come back. But her partner, Eevee, who's actually a male, Eevee does mimic my voice a lot, and he tries to talk to me every single day. He mimics a lot of cell phone noises and other sounds that he's picked up as well. He even mimics all the noises that I go around the room and lock everybody's enclosures at night and things like that. He'll mimic all the lock noises and the lights turning off. He's super duper smart and intuitive. And he's only 1.5 years old, and so is Pikachu. So think about all the words he's going to learn later. Pretty awesome. Do you want, you're like spinning around in circles. Do you just want more snacks? That would be fine. You want to do another flight for the people? Don't be lazy. Look at her. She's gonna be lazy. Come here. Right here. If you really want it, you can do it. Come here. Come on, do another flight for the people. They want to see it. You don't want to? Don't be shy. Come here. Okay. Lazy little cockatiel today. Oh well, we can't force our animals to do anything, and we shouldn't. Co-parent. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, you guys, it's been a fantastic live stream. I feel good about it. I think I had a good time. I think Pikachu had a good time. JoAnna tolerated it. And I think Billie Joe had a good time too. Let me know which ones were your favorites. Let me know if you have any suggestions for programming in the future. I can theme it out a little bit for you guys. We do have birds, mammals, reptiles, creepy crawlies, and all kinds of animals. And I would love, love, love to hear your suggestions for future programming. Maybe we can have some more guests on the show. Maybe we can talk about topics at hand. Maybe we can talk about movies. I've done look back at our YouTube and check out one of our live streams where I talked about my favorite animal movies. That's one of my favorite ones I ever did. I also did a live stream all about pet bird care because that's very important to me as well. Talking all about parrots and other pet birds. So let me know if there's anything at all you would like to know a little bit more about. Let me know what your favorites are from our animals today and otherwise. And we'd love to see you again every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Central. Pikachu, you're so very beautiful. Oh, yes, you are. You know you are. Woo! So silly. You Yes, 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 yes. Oh, you're so silly. Okay. Well, on that note, I think we're going to say goodbye. So it's been lovely to see everybody. And we'll see you guys next time here Once in a Wild. We are nothing close to ordinary, but we love to be your friend. Hold our hands and let's have fun together, singing as loud as you can. Everybody singing Once in a While. Together. Once in a while. I want to hear you say Once in a while. And that's the fun for me and you. Okay, you guys, we'd love to see you next time every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Central here on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook if you have Facebook. If not, follow us on Instagram at Once in a Wild Zoo. And we'll see you guys next time. Say bye, Pikachu. Bye, everyone.